Hey everyone, welcome back to another amazing Unreal Engine 4 and 5 tutorial. In this tutorial, I will teach you how to create a trapdoors like this, so when the player steps on it, it's going to fall off after a couple of seconds. Okay, let's get started. Open up the content drawer, let's create another blueprint of actor, and let's name it trapdoor. Open it up. Let's add a cube. And let's click and drag to assign it as a default scene root. Let's put a blue color here so we can see it better. And for the scale, I'm going to unlock this padlock. So I'm going to put 0.1 to make it like a platform like this. Let's compile and save. Now let's add a trigger box. So inside the blueprint it's called collision box. And type activate platform underscore trigger. Now for optimization purposes, as always, if you want to rescale a trigger box or box collision, use the box extend. Don't use the scale tool here. So let's make it 45 on X and Y, and on Z, maybe 10. Now let's go to the front view. And let's select the slit. So I want to put it on top of the platform. Let's put 5 on Z so we can make it better. Let's go to perspective and looks good. Now with the trigger box selected, type collision here. So we want only our player to trigger this. So ignore all, only the pawn overlap. And with this we are done. Let's go to the event graph and delete these, we don't need them. Now with the trigger box selected, scroll all the way down and we need begin overlap. And also we're going to need the end overlap. Now let's get the player character. So from the other actor who's going to trigger this box, we're going to type equal. We are checking if our player character is triggering this and nothing else. Let's call down B to call a branch. So with this setup, only our player can trigger this and nothing else. Now once the player touches this trigger box, we want to create a variable so the engine knows that we are on the platform. So the variable is going to be boolean and name it standing on platform. Now let's set it to true. And for end overlap, when the player is off the platform, we want to get this, copy and paste. So the same from the other actor. I will use the same nodes because I don't want to copy it like this. So I can use the same node from here. And from the true. Now we need to uncheck this because we are not on the platform anymore. Now let's quickly test this. So let's call a print string and type on platform. Let's copy and paste. I'm going to type here off platform. Now let's quickly give it a test. Now this is too small. Go to the scale over here and select this padlock and type it here 2. Now let's give it a try. We should see in the top left corner messages on or off. So now we are on platform, now we are off. On, off, on. Okay, it's working. Since we know this is working, I'm going to delete this. Now we want when the player steps on the platform, after 2 seconds, or any seconds you want, to fall off. So we need custom event. Just to mention, instead of using delay, this is not good for optimization. I have a whole tutorial for that, check it out. Instead, we're going to use timers. So right click, custom event, and type platform brakes. From here, let's type a timer. So we need set timer by event. And we're going to activate this timer. Let's say after 2 seconds, we want this platform to fall off. But first we need to check after 2 seconds if the player is still on the platform. So I'm going to call bench to check. So every time when you jump on the platform, you're going to set this to true, and the timer will count. So after 2 seconds, it's going to check if you are still on the platform. So this means, let's say for example, after 1 second, we decide to jump, the platform will not fall off, because this is going to check if you are still there. But in the meantime, we have jumped off, and we are setting this to false. So if it's true, get the cube. Let's quickly rename this. So platform underscore SM. So from here, set simulate physics. So we're going to simulate physics only if you're still on the platform. And from here, from the timer, we have to always clear and invalidate. So instead of promoting to variable, so don't do this, you can simply drag a pin, type clear and invalidate timer, and you can put it over here. So that way you don't have to clutter your project with unnecessary variables. Now let's test it out. So after 2 seconds, the platform should fall off. Okay, it's working. Now the problem is the platform will trigger again the same event, even if it's here fall off already. Now to prevent that, we have few ways. You can either do once, but I prefer to make it even more optimized. So what I'm going to do is get this trigger box, and I'm going to destroy it. So click and drag, and from here we need to destroy component. So after 2 seconds, if the player is still on the platform, we want to destroy this trigger box, so no longer will trigger events. Now let's make it visible in the game so you can see it's really working. So I'm going to unhide it. Now here is the trigger box. If I jump on it, it should be destroyed after a few seconds. And now no longer you can trigger the same events. So by deleting this component, you're making your game even more optimized. So it's no longer in your game and no longer takes space and nothing calculates anymore. That's why it's better than using the do once node. Now what happens if this is false? We want to clear and invalidate the timer regardless, because even though it's false, this is going to be still working in the background. So get the false, you can just bypass these two nodes and go all the way here and simply plug it in the clear and invalidate. Let's make a readout node to make it more readable. Now it looks much better. Now if you want to make this even more interesting, so you can either make this as a variable, or you can just drag a pin and type random float. So we need random float in range. So let's make it between 1 second and maybe 3 seconds. So every time when you're stepping on this platform, it's going to fall off between 1 second and 3 seconds. Could be 1 second, could be 2, could be 1.5, and so on. So with this, you're making the game more interesting, more unpredictable. Let's give it a go. Let's make more platforms. So each platform is going to fall off in a different time frame. Now let's say I want to jump on the platform. It's not going to fall off because I'm setting the variable to false. I need to keep standing to fall off. Okay, see? Let me show you the code one more time, so you can make a screenshot if you want. Alright people, I hope you've enjoyed this video and you will find this useful for your games. Thanks for watching as always, see you in the next tutorial.